Hello guys, this video is my attempt on how gyroscopic precession works in the most simplest way. So let's start. This is our gyroscope spinning around the y-axis. Now, if I introduce a tilt to the spin axis, the gyroscope as a whole starts to spin around the y-axis, and this property is called gyroscopic precession. There are many videos which you can check out in YouTube showing this effect. Let's understand the setup first. We have a gyroscope here made up of 16 equally spaced masses on the outer ring. Let's take up the vectors involved. The first one is force due to gravity, which is represented in blue lines or arrows pointing downwards. The next one is rotational or angular acceleration, which as you can see is null right now. Now if I press spacebar, a constant acceleration is given, which in turn revs up the spin of the gyroscope. Moving on to torque due to gravity. The gyroscope with zero tilt will feel no torque, but if I introduce a tilt, torque is felt due to center of mass being shifted towards a side, represented by these white arrows. The torque is proportional to the tilt. More the tilt, more the torque, less the tilt, less the torque. These helpers are to understand the perpendicularity of torque arm to the torque vector. These yellow arrows are components of torque vertical to the plane of spin. Note that the vertical component on the top half of the spin area point upwards and the other half point downwards. These are the components of torque horizontal to the spin plane, and that sums up the acceleration vectors. Now we'll move on to velocity vectors. These green arrows represent the velocity vectors. It has a fixed length inferring zero acceleration. Now if I press spacebar, a constant acceleration is given, which in turn increases the velocity vectors. Next one is the vector responsible for generating precession and is related to the tilt. Zero tilt produces no precession, while increasing the tilt increases the precession. Let's learn how this precession is generated. For that, first let's understand the effects of horizontal component of torque. The yellow vector represents the horizontal component of torque, while the green vector represents the rotational velocity. The horizontal component of torque revolves around the mass and doesn't persist towards one direction. Therefore, no velocity is generated in any direction. Or in other words, there is force or acceleration equal and opposite generated on the mass over time, resulting in no velocity generated in any direction by the same horizontal vector. This is the same shown in a different camera view. Next, we move on to the effects of the vertical component of torque. Let's consider no precession has been generated and observe this mass over here. The direction of force or acceleration is upward, and thus velocity starts to build up towards the up direction over time as it rotates. The velocity will be maximum at this position, and since the force or acceleration starts to reverse, the velocity drops over time and then reverses the direction. The precession, shown in red, increases towards the direction of force, and as the force reverses, the precession starts to drop, and after a point, the precession vector will reverse its direction. In a mathematical view, we can consider the vertical component of torque to follow cosine function, and the precession will be the integral of that acceleration, which is sine function, and hence will be displaced by 90 degrees. Let's view the same in a different camera angle. As you can see, the precession increases in the direction of force, and as the force reverses, the precession drops and then reverses. Looking at the overall picture, the precession is delayed by 90 degrees to the vertical component of torque, and thus the effect of gravity is shifted towards the side, and hence making the gyroscope precess around the y-axis and doesn't let it fall off. As the spin increases, the precession slows down. This is due to the reduction of time for buildup of velocity. Hope you guys understood how gyroscopic precession is generated. Link to the simulator is given in the description. Thank you.